Hello everyone, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. Welcome back, and we are back now with another bunch of stuff. This has come from DeAgostini. This is another 5 parts of the Mustang, parts 49 to 53. And yeah, this time it came with a big fan home sticker on. So I don't know if DeAgostini are sort of going to dissolve. I know that fan home are part of DeAgostini, but or vice versa, but maybe they're going to make it one big company. But big fan home sticker on there, and a smaller box than normal, so not to worry, there's a lot in here. There's a lot to be doing in this in these 5 packs, and what I'm going to do is initially do packs 49 and 50 together, and then I don't know where we'll go from there, but we're doing quite a lot. It's gonna, the car is really going to sort of take a massive leap forward. It's not like, you know, we're just going to add a spring and a dowel and a block and a light with a wire or something. It's really coming on now. So if you're wondering how big she is, this is the chassis, and there you go, that's how big it is. I'm not holding it out to make it look bigger. If I lay it on my chest, you can see it is huge. It's like 750mm long or something when it's finished. In fact, if I stand it on its front end on my lap, there you go, you can see from my lap to the top of my head it's taller. There we go. If I hold it to my face, you can hear it. There it is, hitting my glasses. So you know I'm not cheating. I know what some people do is do this and say, look how big it is, you know, and you think, oh, yeah, okay, it's big, but that's actually because it's about 10 feet closer to the camera than me. So anyway, we're going to get on with pack 49, which is adding the kick plates or the floor panels, and go from there. One piece of advice I would give that I have learned about this model: this fuel filler neck here that goes into the top of the fuel tank. You can see the fuel tank, and basically there's 4 screws that go through here, okay, and they hold the bottom of the fuel tank in, and it's sort of the fuel tank sandwiches around this black floor panel here. So you could just leave that off until you need it, because the trouble is that sticks out and it's very vulnerable. If you put it down on its back, that gets snapped off. I've ended up snapping it off twice. I've now got a massive screw in there. If I snap it off again, I don't know what I'm going to do. But just be careful, I guess. But there we go. Look at that working suspension. It's all cool. So anyway, let's crack on with pack 49. And as usual, we'll have a look at the magazines first. That's what I always do with this and the Lancaster build. And then we'll go from there. So I'll see you here at the bench. We'll get little doggy out of the way, and we'll get a big Mustang in the way. Alrighty then, so here's the magazine for pack 49. As usual, we've got all our contacts here and everything. So in this one, we've got Mustang One concept car. The Mustang was an immediate success when it was launched into the market in '64, just 2 years after the first prototype. A concept car called the Mustang One had been built. There it is. Doesn't look much like the Mustang we know today, does it? Other than the big swage line, I suppose, which the Ford Capri had as well, didn't it? Let's go over the page there. There we go, you can see it there. Ford engineer Roy Lunn poses behind the wheel of a newly completed Mustang One. It's not a very pretty car, is it? By any stretch of the imagination. So there's our parts: front fender guard panels. It's basically the fronts of the footwells. And then here we are, Ford GT at Daytona. If any race comes close to the rivaling the 24 Hours of Le Mans, it is the 24-hour race every February at Daytona. So there we go, there's the Ford GT. Or Ford GT40, isn't it? Ford GT40, it's not Ford GT. And then there we go, where he was victorious at the wheel of a GT Mark II. Ken Miles. There we go. There we are, here's some beautiful pictures from, is that 2017? Yeah, and that's the GT, the Ford GTs of the current time. So yeah, beautiful. Right, so what are we going to do in this one? We are going to fit these floor panels. Now, as you can see in the pack for 49, get the scissors out because I forgot to get them out. We have in here, if I cut the top off, here we go, we have 2 floor panels. They're marked left and right. You can see there's an R on that one and there's an L on that one, And then we also have 2 packs of screws, or a pack of screws should I say, and there will be 5 in here because we need 4, and they always give us a spare one, which is very good of them, and that can go in the jar afterwards. So these are DSO2 screws, which means they're M2.3. So I've already used my tap, and I've already tapped the holes. So let's get the light on because we're building. So retrieve the chassis and place it on your workbench if it's big enough. Position the right and left front fender guards each next to the chassis, each in its corresponding side as shown. So what they're asking us to do here is take our chassis, which weighs about a ton, and place it on the bench like so. Okay, I've got magazines here in the way, and then they're asking us to place these floor panels in the relevant position. So that one's going over there, and that one's coming down here. Okay, so we've got the step on the inside. You can see we've got right and left on there, and they're facing this way round. I think there's going to be carpet covering over here, so we're not going to worry about those ejection pin marks. Start by attaching the right front fender guard panel. Identify with an R is shown. Orient the panel as shown in the picture. Note that the panel has ring-shaped sockets that fit over hollow pins on the chassis. Insert the chassis pins into the panel sockets. To talk about bloody stretching this out, blimey, what you've got to do is basically take this thing. It's got some holes in there. You've got some pegs on there, and you're going to push it down like that. Okay? There you go. That's it. And then you're going to take a screw on the end of a magnetic screwdriver, and we're going to put the screw into there. Just a couple of turns. We're going to grab another screw. Oops. Chuck that one on the floor. We'll get that one back later. Lucky to give us a spare, isn't it? And then we'll put this screw into here, and then we can tighten it down. Remember, it's plastic into metal, so don't go over tightening the screws because you'll split the plastic open. Yes, I know, I say that all the time. So that's nice and firmly in place. So we'll have to be careful with this now not to drop this and get those broken off. And then we're just going to basically repeat the same on the other side. So that's going to go in there. That's going to sit on there like that. There we go. Just like that. And we will get a magnetic screwdriver, pick up a screw, put it in there, just a couple of turns just to get it started, and then wind them in all the way, pull them down, and there we go, that's that one in. So it's basically telling us to put them both in, and then when we turn the page it's showing us how they look. Once in place, turn the chassis over and check the panel is securely in place. This is what the chassis looks like when they're in place. Okay, so that magazine can go down there. We're supposed to turn it over and have a look to see they're securely in place. Yeah, they're securely in place. I can tell they're securely in place from this side. I'm just going to go and just do one final check on these screws. Just make sure they have pulled down. My arm is still functioning at about 50%, which is about 40% better than it was last week. So there we are. So that's those in. So that's 49 complete. Let's have a look at part 50. Right, here we go. Pack 50. So, usual stuff down the side there. Ford reinvents the Mustang. Yeah, this was the Mustang. It's called the Mustang 2, wasn't it? And this is the King Cobra one. I actually quite like these. They're like the Ford Pinto style, aren't they? A lot of people can't stand them, and they bloody hell they knew how to rust. But yeah, I quite like them myself. I think it's quite a good looking car, but nothing like as good as the Fox body, which was the next one to come along, I think. So there we are. There's the 1974. That one is. You can see it's got the long front. It's got the strake in the side and everything. Looks more like a Mustang than a bloody Mach-E does, doesn't it? Eh? And there's the Cobra 2. Good looking car. Huh? Good looking car. So here we've got some parts. You can see we've got some technical little parts here. We've got some steering rods. We've got some drilling and tapping to do anyway. and we're going to build up our steering rods, so that's going to be quite exciting. Here we go, Ford Capri RS. Oh yes, a winning bet. Ford initially launched the Capri with a 1.3 litre 50 horsepower engine. I had one. With so little power available, the car could not be used in competition, so the company released its RS versions almost immediately. And yeah, they did a 3 litre 3.1. I think you could get a V8 in Australia, couldn't you, or something? Absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous looking car. Striking Capri RS 200 was striking due to its matte black hood and lack of bumpers, which were offered as an option. Yeah, I remember the first thing I did on my Capri was took the bumpers off. I knew a guy who lived in Patchway in Bristol, and he became a bit of a friend. And he'd had a nasty accident and got a big payout, and he bought himself a bright red 3 litre Capri Mark 1, and he took all the bumpers off, and it was absolutely beautiful, and I sort of became a friend of his. And he lived not far from me, just around the corner, and his name, for those of you that are into motorsport, his name was David Appleby, and he went on to many, many good things, didn't he? So there's the V6 engine, first with 3 litres and later 3.4 litres in racing evolutions, allowed the Capri to shine in touring car racing. I thought there was a 3.1. I'm obviously wrong again, it's not. There we go, Capri RS 300 won the last two, there we go. So there was a 3.1. There we go, and there's the beautiful Cologne Capris. Lovely, absolutely gorgeous. I always thought the Capri was like the European Mustang. Anyway, so we'll get the light on because we're into bits, and we've got some small, relatively small parts in here. It's hardly small compared to a mini art kit, but it's small parts for a part work. So we've got a bag of screws there, so we can get those out. So we've got 4, so we obviously need 3. So what have we got in here? We'll check our parts. So we've got that part there, there's A, there's B, there's C, and there's D, and we've got our screws there. Okay, so it's asking us to take 50B. The projection on the right tie rod 50C fits into the ring in the end of the center rod 50B. So this is going to be 50C. It's going to go this way round, and this is 50B, and that's going to go that way round. Now normally I would remove all these C marks and stuff on here, but I am sworn by to DeAgostini that I don't change anything, so unfortunately I can't do that with this one. If you want to see me do stuff like that, go and have a look at the Lamborghini build I did, or have a look at the Lancaster, or have a look at the Porsche I'm doing at the moment. Turn the assembly over and secure the center rod to the tie rod with a DS25 screw. Tighten the bolt as far as it will go, but do not let the rods lose their ability to rotate where you inserted the screw. So obviously we're going to put a screw in there, but we're not going to over tighten it. So I'm going to take my M2.3 tap wrench, or tap, and I'm just going to cut a thread into there just to give the screw a start. Okay, and then it will probably, because it's not going to be tight, I'm going to leave the thread a bit shallow so that the screw bites. You might decide not to put the thread in at all. So but look at this diagram here where we're inserting the screw. Make sure everything's the right way up. So that's that way, okay, with that kit coming towards you. That's that way with that lump there sticking up. So we can take a DS25 screw, come here, and then insert that into there, and then you'll feel the screw go tight, which is just what we want, and it can remain floppy. We don't want it too floppy, we just want it to be able to pivot. Okay, looks like you can tighten it right down. Yes, you can. You can tighten it. Yeah, you can tighten it right down and it still moves. So that's good. That's pretty cool. Okay, so now the projection on the left tie rod fits into the vacant ring at the end of the center rod 50B as shown in the picture. So here we've got the left tie rod which has got the teeth here, and that is going to go up into there, and we're going to put a screw in there. So once again, I'm going to tap this. Okay, I'm going to go 1 turn forward, half a turn back, just so that I'm not going too deep because I want the screw to lock itself. Okay, so we'll take a screw and we will put the screw in there, just like so. Tighten it down, and you can see that that one does actually bind up, so we're just going to slacken the screw a touch. There we go. And then once we've worn the paint away, we may be able to just retighten it until we can actually, there we go, that's just shy of being pulled right down. So we'll do plenty of this, let it wear the paint. There we go. So we can do that and everything moves nice and smoothly. That's the main thing. Okay, so that's that done. And then we're going to be fitting this, and again we're going to be putting a screw in here. So I'm going to tap a thread into there. Just like so. Just like that. And then this one is going to go, we're going to turn this over, and this is going to go in the back, and then we're going to turn it over that way, take a screw and put the screw in the threaded hole, just like so. And that's really floppy, so that's cool. So you tighten that one all the way up. This one here, I'm just going to slacken off a touch more. There we go, that's better. So now we've got a really floppy series of joints. Okay. So there we are. So that is our step 50 completed. So I will see you all soon for step 51, and we will once again have a look at the magazine, have a look at the parts. We may do 51, 52, 53 together. I don't know, but I'll see you back for step 51. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.